All right, welcome to the second part of 2 million. I decided to re-record this part simply because the stream was taking forever and the editing was just crazy. So I decided to opt for editing and just to record the second part of 2 million. So let's pick up where I left. I think I left where I downloaded the OpenVPN, but we're going to be re-downloading the OpenVPN. And I will be focusing on performing this steps manual. We are not going to be utilizing the application BURP. Therefore, I'm going to have to spend, I'm going to have to take at least 2 minutes to 3 minutes to try to explain a little bit of APIs and what the purpose of APIs are and endpoints and different parameters, so um, we can have an idea what I'm using curl, post, and using different methods to request to send requests to through different parameters, through different endpoints and functionalities. Um, so let me jump back to the um, let's see here. So I have pulled up a little image here just to explain APIs. APIs on itself, it's application programming interfaces. Just a big word for essentially a connection between two different applications. Like if two applications are written in two different programming languages, what API is, it helps each application to talk to each other. Think about it as a puzzle. If you're having two pieces of puzzle, if you're making working on a puzzle, imagine how two pieces come together in an exact endpoint and they just click each other, right? And that think of that as a API. And of course, there's something like REST API, but you can always Google that and just keep on learning from that. But for this video, we're just gonna need to know the basics and how it works. Um, so we are the end users here, and we're gonna make a request through an parameter, through an endpoint. That endpoint has a functionality, and that depending on that functionality, is going to request something to the database. Then we're gonna get a response back to our end user application. And a simple example about that is that we can just click here and we're gonna make a request, just like I explained now. And in OpenVPN, it's gonna download to our desired destination. But like I said before, we are not gonna be utilizing BURP. We're gonna be using the method curl command, and we're gonna download our OpenVPN through the curl method. So APIs. If you look in your left bottom corner, you will see 2 million HackTheBox API version 1. Then you're gonna see user VPN generate. That user VPN generate is gonna be a functionality, a parameter. So VPN API B version 1, that is gonna be our route. So we're going to make a request to generate an OpenVPN via the API path. And to make that request, we need a couple things. First, we need to know the route, which is 2 million. Not HackTheBox API. And B1, this is just the version 1 of applications. And typically this is for the developers to update and modify applications in the backend. And then our target parameter is gonna be users. Is a user or user VPN. and generate. And then also we need to authenticate ourselves, provide that we are authenticated to the system. To do that, we're going to request or to look for our PHP session ID cookie. So go to network and refresh this. Scroll up to access, which that's where we are right now on the access page. And here's your session ID cookie and the value of that cookie. Let's copy that. Paste it in here. So for this example, this is all that we need to authenticate and request to generate the OpenVPN. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing, it's gonna use sudo curl and HTTP our path is B1, and then our target endpoint and generate, and then we're gonna provide the flag H as header. Our header is gonna say cookie because we provided a session ID cookie for authentication. And let's just copy this value and the PHP session ID. Okay, paste it in there. That way we're authenticated. And let's do silent, S for silent, and O for output. Here you just need something to make sure you give it the extension of OpenVPN, and just name it something here that you like. Manual. Let's do manual method OpenVPN. All right. And here's our manual method OpenVPN. And just to go over that, all we did was, since we already know a specific endpoint, we just made a request using API path to the database service. In return, we got the OpenVPN, which was what we requested for. And again, as you may know, there might be different endpoints here, different parameters, different functionalities. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's pigmentize. Manual OpenVPN. Here's what we just downloaded. Pretty standard OpenVPN. And just for proof of concept, let's automate a little bit. We're gonna cd to the directory. We're gonna clear, and then we're gonna cat manual method .ovpn. Essentially, they're the same files. The one on your left, this one, it just has the pigmentation library, and just for colors. So just give it a better look. It's better when you're doing work and stuff. It's easy to highlight. But the real question is, if we fire this, is it gonna connect? Is it gonna connect to us? Are we gonna be able to connect? In other words, are we gonna be able to connect to the server? So let's open VPN this. And as you might know, it's not going to connect to anything. It's going to try and try and try 5 seconds. It's going to pause 5 seconds. Then it's going to retry it for 10 seconds, 20, 40 seconds, etc. So there's no, the output explicitly is not going to indicate whether the OpenVPN has a connection or not. But I did compare it to my connection right now that is running. And the only thing that I kind of saw was a line that says initiation sequence completed. Um, but in here, I don't see anything. It's just going to keep on going. So it's not going to work. So we're just going to kill this request. And now we know that the manual OpenVPN is not going to connect to anything. So what we're going to be doing next is actually we're going to be fuzzing for different methods. Sorry about that. From different endpoints, for different parameters, and those parameters may have different functionalities within requests to the database. And you could do this via wfuzz, I believe, and specify like a API word list or something. But we're gonna be using our curl command. And again, you can use this for you can burp this if you like to have more of a visual output. I personally avoid burp. It's just because there's so much data you have to send to repeater intruder. So I try to do things manual. So we're gonna omit the parameters. We're just gonna fuzz the route, and I'll show you what I mean. HackTheBox API and version 1. This is our route. That right there. Let's do provide the L. This is just for any status codes, redirects. And again, we're just gonna do our session ID cookie. We wanna always authenticate. Hopefully our session hasn't expired. Maybe, hopefully we are still authenticated. I forgot my cookie ID. Oh, I have it here. I think it was on the background this whole time. Okay. All right, so we have some data. Not the best pretty looking data. Luckily, we can JSON this the output to a JSON format by piping to JQ. And we have downloaded some JSON data. In other words, we have fuzz route list. And here's what I was referring earlier, your API version 1 as your route. And then everything after that is going to be your parameters, your endpoints, your different functionalities. For example, this functionality would generate instructions on how to invite a code. And actually, this is the one we saw earlier in the video. So they can definitely start playing around with these functionalities and see what requests, what response you get. But for the video purposes, we're going to be focusing on this functionality right here, admin settings update. Okay, how we're going to be using the admin settings update. let's see. First, let's look at what method is going to be utilizing. It's going to be utilizing the put method. This put method is going to update or replace an existing data. So it makes sense that we already have our exec account. So we're going to to try to replace our existing data to an admin. Um, Bear with me for a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna be using the cur put command. X put and then dash L. This is for again for that word that I cannot say direct to follow directs. And again the H cookie. And it's in the background. Make it a little bigger. And honestly, I think this is already saved in my clipboard. Okay. We're gonna pass our server here. API route B1. And now that we have a parameter in mind, we can target this functionality. And we'll see what response we get. I think I forgot. I don't think I forgot to put the arrow this. And we got a status code message: danger, message invalid, content type. So what is content type? So content type, it's simply like a request or a request or a response that specifies what kind of data is being received. So it tells like the server or a client like how to interpret the body of that data that is going to come through. So um, we're going to copy this command and we're just going to add the contact data. Actually, I should have copied the second one, but because this one is missing this. And then we need to do content. Let me see. We need to specify the header because it is a header. We need to specify the header. What kind of how to interpret the data. So the content is gonna be, and I know we've been using JSON, so I'm sure it's gonna be a JSON format. And JSON is what is it, like JavaScript object notation or something? What is it? Content type. I wonder if I forgot if it's just capital like that. We'll see. Application. The application is gonna be JSON. We'll see what we get. invalid content type. I wonder, my spelling is always off, so I wonder if it's just, okay, there it is. So now that went through. Now we got another message. Then your message missing parameter uh, email. So the email, I'm not gonna copy and paste it this time. We're just gonna go up. I'm gonna add the we're gonna have to add the trying to think how to add the parameter, the D for admin for email. So I am looking at my burp commands. I did this through burp on our live stream, and I'm trying to figure out how to add the email here. I'm just gonna copy the syntax through the burst to the burp email. I think it's, and then we needed to do exec at io.com. And close this. All right. So we have added our username. Now we need to add our admin. So we can do up and let's do, let's not close this. And let's do is underscore admin. Okay. Is underscore admin. And I think it has true. True. I thought it was 1. Maybe it's true. I remember I did it. I put 1 in burp. Yep, variable needs to be 1. So we're gonna delete the and just put 1 here. Okay. So we have made our username exec is an admin, and let's copy. There's a functionality that we can run, and we can check if we are admin. So let's use this parameter. So we're gonna go. I'm trying to think how we're gonna do this. I think we can just go to the website and let's open a new window and let's go HTTP. It's too small. I wish I can make it bigger. But what I'm gonna do is this, so you can see what I'm typing. I can make that bigger. HTTP 2 million. And this is just to get a response, a message response, whether we are admit message true or false. HackTheBox version 1, and here is where we're gonna utilize the parameter for that functionality. Admin out. Admin authenticate. Okay. Open link. No, you know what? It's not gonna work because I'm using burp. Yep. So let's go and use Chromium because on my regular Firefox it's set up for burp sweep. Oh, I didn't copy it. Okay, gotcha. I pasted in. I copy and pasted the authentication cookie, but I need to copy this. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. All right, so we are in fact admin now. Let's close this windows and we shall continue part 3 and we can now we have more possibilities. We can do a lot more now. Um, so stay tuned for part 3. Actually, I'm gonna save this and I will save all of this for our part 3, which I'm gonna do it now. Uh, Before I do in this part 2 and go to part 3, what if we generate another OpenVPN file? But this time we're gonna be utilizing the generate um, this one, admin VPN generate, and then we're gonna compare both user exec and admin of it in the admin of VPN. Is it? Yeah, the admin of VPN. I think that's what I'm gonna name it. All right. So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna utilize this endpoint to generate an OpenVPN. So we're gonna be using pseudocurl. Actually, I can just go up. Just pseudocurl x put and again our cookie. Hopefully our cookie session is still valid. Okay. And here's we're gonna pass our HTTP to million. Version 1. It's getting late. I can't think anymore. And that's our route. And then we're gonna pass this one, admin VPN. Admin the VPN generate generate. But we are gonna need those content. What was it? Content type, and then what was it like? Application, JSON, and then we also passed the username, right? And for the email, let me go back to my burp. Where are you, burp? Here's this burp. Um, Yeah, because we're passing exec. Because exec, we're now the admin. Where's something? It doesn't like something. Is it too? Oh, I think it's double quotes here or double. And then let's put output. Let's do silent output. Let's do admin dot OBPN. Okay, here it is. So let's cut. Well, let's pigmentize. Show initiate admin. Nothing. Hmm. Apparently we didn't save anything. So let's remove. Let's go back to that command. X. I wonder our cookie is not valid anymore. I think I see the problem. There we go. That took a little bit of time. Huh. Hmm. Hack the box version 1. And then we pass an admin. Oh, I think I see the error. See, we're asking to oh god, I hope I didn't replace the current file. We need to get we need to use a post method instead of a get instead of a put method. We gotta utilize the post method. Still, hmm. 2 million HackTheBox API 1 admin. Content type, right? Application JSON. Maybe I messed up in here. Username. Okay. I wonder if I need to put let me look at the burp. On BURP, it has an extra flag. I wonder if that is. Did I just override? We're getting a 401 error. No, the flag is just for to give me the data. So 401 the error. Are we not redirecting? Generate. I'm looking at my spelling because I'm so terrible. I'm terrible at writing VPN. Admin VPN generate. Okay. So let's start from the top. So curl expose the cookie. Are we? Am I not? Cookie equals HTTP / API B1, and then here's our post endpoint admin VPN generate. It's going to be a header of content type application JSON username exec. If I don't get this one, then we can OBPN, right? That's the correct extension. Now we downloaded something. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's remove this one, and let's just regenerate it. Okay. Now segmentize. Perfect. Now we have it. That took forever. For some reason, let's compare both OpenVPNs with the manual method. Let's just not pigmentize it. Let's just cut it. And actually, let's just cut this one too. They seem to be the same OVPN. It's not going to work. Now, it's safe to assume that we can connect to this VPN as well. And here's where I'm going to end part 2 to jump on part 3. Let's make this setup right here. Maybe that's good to see it. And I am going to save this us 2 million, 2 mils. All right. I'll see you in the third part. Actually, hold on. Since I think I'm gonna finish this by getting the uh, executing a command. Since we are in the same process, thinking process of we just generated the OpenVPN file for the admin. Now we think about it. We did generated that OpenVPN admin file, so we can essentially um, we can essentially I'm trying to think how to word this. We have confirmed in a way that uh, we have access to the endpoint database via elevated privileges via the admins. So we have confirmed that by us generating the OpenVPN file. Um, so we can use a one-liner that I have here from another box. So essentially, what I'm gonna be using this one-liner to send to the backend database. But that one-liner, within that one-liner, I'm gonna call myself to my to my attacking IP address, so I can listen to it on a port, and that request is gonna come back to me as as a shell. Because remember, we have access to send requests via APIs via the API path. So now we're going to take advantage of that. So we can insert that into the API endpoint and execute a remote command shelf, reverse shelf. So make let's do exec the bash. Um, Nano. And I am going to leave this one-liner in the commands. Or you can just Google one-liner. Let's leave it 444. And my IP has changed to 97. So we will cut exec. Essentially, this is what is in here. Let me make sure. $14.97. Okay, we're good. So now let's think about this. I deleted. So let me go back to my commands that we did. Actually, I can just type it. Let's regenerate that via OpenVPN. So we did zero curl. We're gonna use a HTTP method of post. The cookie again. Maybe gedit. Let's open 2 mils, and this is our cookie. Paste that in there. All right, and again, our content type, content type. It's going to be application JSON. And again, the D for the username is going to be user name, usernames, and I will leave these commands on exec. Okay, here's we're gonna echo instead of creating our regenerating regenerating the OpenVPN file, we're gonna send our malicious exec batch script echo does n. Should we base 64 encode that? Maybe we should. So we're gonna do. It's gonna be this. On BURP, I didn't have to encode the malicious shelf on base 64, but I think if we're gonna send it through a request via the API method, API path, we might need to base 64 the script. So we have them. Okay, so we're gonna cat exec. Okay, we're gonna cut that. Let's do base 64, and the word count is gonna be 0. Here we're just saying just keep everything in one line. There it is. So we have encoded that. So now we can add this line here. Okay, and then we can add equals to where's my burp sweep output? We're gonna have to decode it now. What is it? Base 64. Base 64, then decode to bash because that's where our bash was. Then close this. And now, before we fire that, let's open our listener. Let's sudo nano, sorry, nc -lbpa, and I think he was on what? Is it 444? If not, I can check. 444, yeah, but something is. Let's examine that. Expose. Again, I wonder if the cookie it's expire. I see something. We are not sending anything. That's my bad. I got too ahead of myself. Got too excited. I totally missed the route and API. The route and the endpoint. Okay, so here before we even we need to put the server, but the route 2 million. HackTheBox API version 1, and we're gonna do the what was the If I remember correctly, I think it was curl HTTP 2 million. I'm trying to fast for the APIs again because I forgot the API. Was it like admin generate something? B1. That's what we're gonna fuss. Direct and H for the cookie again. And I think we have that here. Right? Let's put the JSON output. I see. And it was this. No, that's what authenticated. This one. That's the endpoint right here. Admin VPN. Because remember, that's how we generated the BPM earlier. So we can just prove that we can send some requests back to the backend and get our response. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, we can do the content, because we have the cookie here, content here. Okay. Can't type anymore. Username. Exec, because that's what we are authenticated as admin as. Okay, exec, and we're gonna echo n. Now we need our base 64. Okay. To decrypt this to bash. Right? Because we decrypting it to bash. All right, let's hope for the best. Now we're good. Now we got a shell. Well, actually, we don't need that. I think I can kill this without killing my shell. Let's not close in case I need it again. I need to fire again the shell. I am gonna close this side though. Make this bigger. And who am I? Data. Let's start to the Matilda. C into HTML. And let's cut everything and see what we have. This is just to cut everything out of the hidden files, and we have a super duper pass. And I think if I remember correctly, we do have OpenSSL. I'm sorry, SSH. I should have just cat. Was it open ports? Yep. And we do have OpenSSL, OpenSSH. Sorry. So let's copy this. So maybe we can admin SSHN, use an admin. So admin creds. Um, Here's when I paste our data, our password, and we are in on the box as admin. Who am I? Admin. I wonder if wait, I made admin on the box. Let me copy this flag, and I wonder if it's the root flag. I don't think so because it has the user text. But I think this is a good stopping point now. So let's just do that. Let me exit out of here. And now this time, this is gonna go for part 3. It's gonna be the escalation and the access as root as the main user, not as admin. Uh, because this is the user.text. Let me paste that. Yeah, this is the user flag, so we need to privesc. So this is a good stopping point. Stay tuned for the next.